Yes. Now see the red light. That means we're live, guys.
All right.
How you feeling?
I'm feeling good. And yourself?
I like doing this little tease music in the beginning now, just before we really start, to get a vibe going. You know?
Mm-hmm.
It's like foreplay. When I used to do that, yeah. You can play the role of my wife in the sitcom.
You still do that?
That setup.
We just got done talking. Oh, never mind.
Look, we just got done talking about, we may have to get an apartment together because we're nerding out so much.
Because we're working so hard.
Yeah, that's it. Look, let's do, support the sponsors that support the show.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah, go
if
for
you
it.
If you like this podcast, we're trying to give you the pragmatic advice we stumble upon via conversation or interview. And so why not have a business line? Why not have a good app that is your business line? Not don't go to Verizon and go, hey, I need a second line added. Here's why. Because you'll get confused.
Yeah.
When someone calls.
They love it when idiots like that come in.
Right, and you'll call and be like, you'll do the joke I like to do. You'll say, No Limit Studios. That's a funny answer.
Yeah, quote-unquote joke.
When someone calls my personal line, but not my business line. So when people call a business line, we got to say, Tokubaga Consulting. Or we share the business line.
Yeah.
You have the app. You have the same line I do. It's scalable. So let's get some Grasshopper action going on the virtual phone system. You need to get it for your business. 208monkeys.com. Let's get creative. But our listeners get $50 off if they go to trygrasshopper.com/sweat. That's trygrasshopper.com/sweat. And that's, what is this, like Nelly Furtado in here?
You picked it, dude. That's what I was
it's
wondering.
a remix. Look, I'm not a good DJ, but I am good at telling you about good apps. Grasshopper, the entrepreneur's phone. You ready to get this thing going?
I am ready.
Yes.
Yeah, let's do it. Thank you, Grasshopper. We'll talk later.
In a 3, in a 2, in a toddy. You love that.
Hate it.
You love
so
it.
hard.
I love it.
I love it.
Why? Because I hate it.
Do you want to do it together, Damian?
Yeah.
Woo. God almighty.
I knew this thing would come in handy.
Look, we're going to do a mini episode today. We've got some in the hopper coming up because I listen to a lot of podcasts, and I hate when they just take the holidays off. It's like, dude, bank a couple episodes. So I was on my friend Krishna Reddy's Jest Tube, which is science with a comedic kind of taste on it, little approach to that. So he did his first one in here. So it'll look very similar to this setup when you see it if you want to watch it on video. And then we got to do two freebie shout-outs, two kind of sponsors. John Jacobs, comedian buddy of our program of Cigar City Comedy in the Tampa Bay area. He's got an album out called Summer Southside. And we got in a huge argument last night. If you look it up on iTunes, I said he had to redo his album art because it has McDonald's logos as the M's.
What was the argument?
Yeah, that's like...
He doesn't want to change it. So I was trying to help him do Facebook ad campaign.
Jacobs, dude. It's it's not an argument. You have to do it.
He's claiming parody law. I said parody law is fine, but they'll do a cease and desist, and then by the time you figure it out, it'll be a year at least.
But does that become like great marketing then? Because he's got like this thing that he could talk about negative?
I'll beat you to that. So I said, if you have an organic audience and then you make a big shit about it, then yes, that would be fine. He doesn't have that. He doesn't have a big enough audience for that to create like a crazy fervor on Twitter or whatever. And then on the other side, he doesn't have the money for a PR team to really execute that. It's one or the other.
Come back from it.
So yeah, because I feel like some of these PR like spats, they're really kind of calculated. Yeah. We're gonna do this on a Tuesday morning because that's gonna be the album. He dropped the album on a Sunday.
Lord's Day.
Every album comes out on a Tuesday. So I like.
Does that still exist?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
You got to drop albums on Tuesday still?
You do it on a Tuesday. Same, like some people don't, but same logic with movies. So they did it on Fridays because you want the box office for the weekend, and then it kept creeping back. You want to get the midnight showing, so it counts towards your first weekend, all that stuff. Tuesdays you do it so it has like a ripple effect throughout the week. So a bunch of people buy it on Tuesday, the big fans, and then that'll have like a snowball effect for more people to hear about it, more people to buy it. Tuesday seemed to be a better
That's going to go away. That doesn't seem.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not.
It's still standard though, right?
Yeah, but you know what I'm saying? Like, it's not you don't get the physical CD copy.
But he does have some funny. He does have some funny stuff, and that's another interview we have banked that we're going to put on. I go through Facebook.
I do like the music.
It's funny.
It's good.
It's really funny. I thought it was going to be like really esoteric garbage, and
he did what I want to do.
I don't like giving him a compliment. You do love the very Tim and Eric.
That would be
absurd.
I would love to be Simon Rex turning into Dirt Nasty, where I can be a rapper as a big joke
And a bisexual,
and
right?
I don't know.
He is.
He is.
Yeah.
Are you sure?
No,
you don't know
allegedly.
shit.
So the other one,
Rumors.
other shout out we'll give is another comedian buddy, Nick Hoff, has an album out. Check it out. It's on Amazon and iTunes as well. Give us a 5-star review. Give them a 5-star review. All of that shit really helps. That's the cheat code to like creep up the rankings. So now that's out of the way.
Yeah.
And Hoff's my buddy I used to tour with. I love him and I, we get in a lot of arguments, but I still love him like a brother. And he's opening for Foxworthy and Larry the Cable Guy all over the country.
Cool.
Which is cool, but
That is
I see him.
big names.
Look, say what you. I know.
I don't know
Say
him.
what you will about those flavor of comedians, but those guys have a crazy work ethic, and you don't really get that good by being unfunny. I think they chose a path and went with
Yeah,
it.
exactly. They just decided they can just go right down that narrow little.
Foxworthy
easy-
used to work at IBM. He's a smart dude.
That's so
Larry the Cable Guy
didn't know.
from this area.
Yeah,
Yeah.
not a
but
cable
was
guy.
it- Not a cable guy, surprisingly.
What? Yeah. What is
And
he
his
gonna do?
accent's fake too, people.
It's an act.
I
Yeah.
know that, but I don't think everybody else does.
Dude, I was telling someone last night, a third of the country doesn't even care about joke stealing. Like, most of the country is just like, I don't care. Like, what's funny? And so on our
he
side,
says
it's
it.
like,
The other guy says
that's
it. Who
the
gives a shit?
creative. That's their property. All that kind of stuff. What do we want to get into? We had something I told you to cork until we started. Damian Alpizar.
What, the net neutrality?
Well, there's that. I mean, that's a big thing right now, especially, I mean, I'm not trying to harp and be like, oh, no, net neutrality is completely horrible. I mean, I understand why some corporations are like, hey, look, we need to,
What is it for?
well,
there's
let
a lot
me
of people.
explain.
Okay.
So net neutrality, and I'm trying to make this thing not skip and jump all over the place. I'm also directing over here because the Mevo's got some weird angles that it's trying to jump to, and I don't know why.
You just had to do it yourself.
Well, no, look at these
Guest
Show
shots.
off.
Guest director.
Yeah, it's like picking. It wants to keep chopping people's heads off. I don't know.
Now it's the Mevo's fault. Now
Yes.
you're blaming the
Yes,
camera. When
I am.
We had it.
I am totally. No,
Fine.
no, you didn't. I've seen your episodes. you get heads chopped off quite a bit. So one of the things, what net neutrality in layman's terms is that originally the internet was supposed to be like the information, as long as you were going through an ISP, it was all treated equally, no matter what bandwidth you used. So if you were going with
Streaming 9 porn videos at one time.
if you're streaming 9 porn videos at one time, or if you're just putting up some text, you got equal. You paid your ISP. You got through it. You paid for your bandwidth, and you can use that bandwidth as needed. The analogy that I saw on Forbes, I believe, was shelving in a supermarket, where you people in retail, they pay for preferred shelving and preferred space in a supermarket
To consumer preferences.
to consumer preferences.
You pay more. It's dynamic pricing. You pay more to be on the end cap at a grocery store. I'm kind of obsessed with. I like a lot of that stuff. Like, the cereal Kellogg's is going to pay a lot more to be on the end because you'll impulsively get Cocoa Krispies or whatever they.
You remember that commercial where the guy was walking squatted down and they were trying to sell that bag cereal on the bottom of the shelf, and the whole gimmick was that he was walking real short and they didn't pay extra for it.
Literally,
Yeah.
people don't want to bend over, so that the lower.
Literally, they
rungs-
don't exist. I don't know that cereal anymore. Do you?
And
Can
then
you
they
name
do.
that cereal?
And then they do the reverse one now, where people now know to go down to the lower floor So this like the penultimate, the one that's just off the bottom.
I noticed
floor.
that the other day. The Frosted Flakes were like on the bottom, like the big names are on the bottom.
They're putting it lower. The Frosted Flakes are on the bottom because that's where kids can reach and grab it and put it in the cart.
Oh.
So they want to put those where the kids can grab it.
My kid did grab the Frosted.
So the worst spot sometimes is the like not the bottom, but right above that, and then all the way at the top. Because most people can't grab that stuff on the top.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So you just go. It's like I do that sometimes. I'm like, I got like T-Rex arms. Like they're, when you do this, you do your wingspan.
It's
that's how
supposed to be
tall.
Equal, yeah.
Mine's like I'd be like a midget essentially. Excuse
really?
me, dwarf. Excuse me, little human.
You could just
what
say
do you say?
Short arms. How much shorter are they?
No, I don't know, not much, but it's alligator arms.
Have to measure that.
And I always do the debate like, should I get someone from Publix over here? I'll just get the thing I don't want because it's right there.
I'll just pay more for this.
We're seeing convenience be such a big part of business dynamics now because it used to be price or uniqueness, right? Those are kind of right there, and now convenience is kind of in the middle of that.
Yeah, convenience. Time used to be the big thing, but now convenience is another big factor. And so what's basically happening is that. But you see, stores have limited space. They have square walls. They have an area that they have to stay within. So you can charge more for premium space and things of that nature. But when you come to the internet, which doesn't have any limitations as to, realistically, it doesn't have a limitation. And you can't say that, you're running out of space on the internet or speed on the internet. Really, you're not. So what ends up happening is that now the ISPs can say, hey, you know what, Netflix, you've got a whole lot of people using your stuff. We're going to charge you more to access and push through. Mm-hmm. In turn, Netflix, obviously being a corporation, isn't going to just eat that cost. They're going to raise their price. Yeah. And that consumers will now have to, for Netflix, get more. But here's the problem, is that let's say Disney's getting ready to do their streaming service, right? And they strike a deal. You already know that Disney's trying to strike a deal to buy Fox. What if they strike a deal with Verizon and say, guess what? We'll make sure that all of our streaming services only go through Verizon network. So if you're on a Spectrum or another network of any type, now you can't get the Disney streaming service. You have to log on to their that particular ISP provider to get that because now Disney's like, okay, we're only going to go with you guys versus because you guys are giving us the better deal for the bandwidth. You're giving us a better deal for the bandwidth. We'll go with you guys. That blocks out the other guys. And now Netflix is only available on one, and versus it being neutral, where all of them are treated the same. And as a consumer, we can pick and choose and just let the free market.
I thought it was reverse of what you think it is by the name.
You want net neutrality.
You want net neutrality.
You want it to be neutral.
Yeah, you want all the ISPs to treat all of the providers equally, no matter how much popularity. Because if their business is doing great, you don't want them to say, hey, by the way, you got a great service. Right. We're going to charge you more for it now.
The problem with it is that everybody says, oh, man, net neutrality. It's like, well, no, the law against it or whatever. So that's the problem is that.
Whoever branded this did a really good job.
Yeah.
It confuses me every time I listen to it. I hear it. My lizard brain goes, I don't want all that shit to be neutral. And then
no, that's what it is. You want
I want the internet to be free market. And then and I have to remember that it's not at first blush what you think it is. And I feel like we're in this world a little bit or a lot, I'd say. I feel like the generation older than us super confused.
I'm sure there's so many complaint letters that went in that said, get rid of net neutrality, and they think they're wanting one thing when they're
snail mail letters.
Yeah,
there's the first problem.
It had to have happened because I hear it all the time.
And it could be confusing because you have to look at it and say, okay, why do I want all of my providers to be treated equally? Well, you want them to be treated equally, so that way it's up to their service to you that's going to determine how successful they are. You don't want it to be a matter of that they made a deal in the back end with somebody, and now all of a sudden, because they made a deal, they've blocked out competition. And that's the problem, is that you're running into a situation where now corporations are deciding what's going to be the better service for you to have, and your internet's going to go up,
so
your
it's weird.
Going to go up.
It's weird that and it all kind of revolves around corporate consolidation because I don't know if y'all saw that John Oliver piece a couple of weeks ago. It was great. Kind of explained like every big business in the United States is all corporate consolidation. Like So there's 4 ISP. There's 4 internet people you can choose from, basically. Google Fiber tried to get in the market. You literally have to lay fiber down. Like, there's fiber that goes from the East Coast of the United States across to Europe. Like, there's little.
I know, it's crazy.
It's so crazy.
Sitting on the ocean floor.
There's a good Michael Lewis book called Flash Boys about how these guys manipulated the market because they could get a half second faster from the Chicago trade to where the servers were. So the Chicago marketplace, stock marketplace, Jesus Christ, to New Jersey. So it's all about this guy like creating the pipeline through Pennsylvania mountains and stuff to get a half second faster, and made buku dollars because their internet connection was faster, essentially. Airlines, right? It's all an oligopoly. I get a lot of shit from my good buddies because I went on a rant a couple of years ago. I was like, it's all an oligopoly, man. Like, it's price fix. How many airlines are there? There's 4, right? Southwest, Delta, American, United, maybe, I think.
We only fly Spirit because my wife is cheap.
That doesn't really count because that's like Greyhound. People bringing on like Philly cheesesteaks.
Tell her
open
that.
Up,
I know.
Not wearing shoes and
chickens flying around inside there.
They charge you for like headphones that you brought.
Yeah.
So like, what happens is with the net neutrality stuff is you have 4 providers, right? It's like a double fuck almost. Think about it. So you only have 4. You only have, in most places you have 1 or 2 to pick from in the United States, internet wise.
Right.
And then from there, now we're seeing the Disney Fox probable, acquisition of Fox, which they'll take Hulu, and it'll be a juggernaut against Netflix. Both are huge sucks on internet and bandwidth, and then they now have their own kind of bottleneck on the entertainment stuff that everybody wants.
See, so this could be a good thing, just like your mom would say.
Yeah, my mom would find a silver lining in this. Like, well, you get every movie ever.
I don't remember what city
$20.
it is. There's a city they're going to start treating broadband internet like a utility, where the cities are going to start developing their own broadband system somehow, and then providing it from there. And then you also got...
I don't know if that's a good idea.
It's an option. Are more options... I mean...
Well, we can only choose one electric provider, right?
Yeah.
I don't think that's a great thing.
No, that's what I'm saying. Let's bring in more options.
Because they lobby to block solar energy for a long time, which means we're fucking laggard state always here.
We also just got to get to the point to where Elon Musk puts all his Wi-Fi balloons into space, and then we all have Wi-Fi for free forever.
Yeah, well...
Right? Is that how it works?
I'm trying to think of how this affects most people, really, on the ground level. Because while we can, it's like the tax stuff that everybody was bitching about maybe 7 days ago and already forgot.
Yeah.
That's what's crazy about all the news cycle is it is so ADD'd out that like I kind of want to write down what people are in hysterics, like put it on the wall.
Remember this?
And then we can go talk about it a month later.
Ebola.
And we look like we're very thoughtful.
Yeah, well, that's the thing is that, I mean, unfortunately, it's people are very forgetful, and I think that definitely we're in a day and age where, that was so tweeted, 5 minutes ago, but it will affect people in the long run. I'm not going to harp on it. I'm not going to sit there and be like, oh no, we got to all rise and there are going to be people that are fighting against it. There's going to be my senator actually sent me a letter saying sorry that was kind of messed up.
Your senator?
Yeah,
our
senator.
Not mine?
Sorry, our senator.
Wait, I didn't get anything.
Well,
which senator are you talking about?
Yeah,
they're a public figure. You can talk about.
Who's your
Is
friend?
it not Gus Billaronis?
No, it's not.
Are you on the inside?
No, wait, that's my rep.
It
was probably your rep. We only have 2 senators in the state.
Sorry, our rep.
How about this?
Whatever.
Let's dovetail this into something we're all kind of looking at, because I was talking about the tax stuff, and that was affecting a lot of freelancers.
Right.
Because I've got 15 minutes until I got to get out of here, and that affects a lot of freelancers. So what they were saying with the tax code that they were going to change is you can't get nearly the write-offs that you do now. That was going to be the big overall thing. And what's crazy about that is now you're seeing New York City if you're an independent contractor, now they kind of have laws to protect them a little bit, like minimums and like and things that people that are hiring freelancers have to do now, which is good and bad at the same time. I feel like it's good, but it kind of defeats the purpose after a while if that gets too restrictive.
Well, the thing is with freelancers in particular, like for example, in our industry, which is primarily the film and movie industry, freelancers are essential. I mean, they are the ones that projects are spaced out. And so in order for you to, if you were going to commit yourself to one particular job, let's say a sound guy, and you've got equipment and you've got all these things that you have to be able to write off, and there's travel, and there's a lot of things that go that are involved with freelance work that should be expensed. Now you start restricting some of that, and you start making it so that it's more difficult for these independent workers to find work, because let's face it, it's not like videos being shot every day. They have to go where the work is, and throughout the state of Florida, especially the non-union. So you run into these situations where they have to get equipment, update their stuff, keep up with the gas, do all this stuff. You start restricting some of those things that are tax write-offs, and now they are in a position that it hurts them at the end of the year.
This is good. I already have a cheat sheet for this because I wrote this down. I was going to do a blog post, and I wrote this long. I was on a flight and wrote this like it was towards my stand-up comedian brethren that I don't like when they bitch about like they can't make enough money because they can clearly do something on the side. And this is good. This is appropriate for our podcast because it's a lot of people that might want to do their own thing or not doing it because they need a little bit more cash flow, or while they're doing it, they need to add some other income coming in. And I always tell the comedians, I'm like, you could be content writers. You know, you write all the time. You could be social media marketers.
So you're saying side gig to the side gig?
Yeah, why not? We're the gig economy.
Your answer is just work harder.
Well, not to that, but I'm saying like it's kind of a separate thought.
You are turning an old white man, you know it.
Well, I feel like all three of us.
Your bootstraps
no.
Get your shit together.
But I do feel like that can be a self-fulfilling prophecy that, or a defeatism kind of attitude where you go, look, man, I'm already doing this. You know, like I feel like I've had 3 gigs going at all times for 10 years. And yeah, I'm a little crazy, but it's made me so good in so many different ways that when we're doing meetings, I'm not nervous to talk about a lot of stuff.
Well, I mean, freelancers, and again, I'm only speaking about in particular in my industry, freelancers in my industry can sometimes moonlight in other positions, and that's okay. But when let's say
I'm not saying contracted guys.
Right.
Like production stuff is like you're contracted for months, right? I'm talking about like, I was directing this more towards people who say they want to do something. I want to start this, but they go, man, I have a job, man. Or, you know, like, you're like, okay, well, you have, let's just break it down. If you have a 50-hour week job, call it.
Oh, that'll put people on the defensive. They're like, whoa, I don't want to break all that down. I'm way too busy to even do that.
Right. Well, let's call it 9 to 5 job, and I'm including like an hour, like get there, get back, you know, whatever. Let's call it 50 hours, right? Mm-hmm. And then let's call it 60, just to be conservative. You got 20 other hours in your week, probably, right?
Depends if you have family, kids. I mean, it all depends. But let's say,
let's find 10 hours,
yes,
right?
Let's say yes.
Here's a list of sites you can go on, and you can do freelance work in this gig economy, right? I think that's what it's coined as, the gig economy. You can go on Upwork. When Elance and Odesk merge together, it's the biggest freelancer website. This is also good for project managers, for people that need other people. That's probably the best marketplace for the soft skill stuff. Programmers, graphic designers, animators, video editors, I think. I haven't done it on there, but we need to get our agency account back up because the more you do on there, you're not going to start at a high dollar per hour at first because you don't have any reviews yet. You haven't done anything. So with all this stuff online, these sites I'm going to give out, you're going to start at a low dollar per hour, and then you creep it up. The more jobs you do, the more 5-star reviews you have, the better.
Right.
So Upwork, there's Guru. There's 1.5 million freelancers on that with a time tracking system. Freelancer.com, Fiverr, which is kind of one of my favorites.
Yeah. And just because it's Fiverr, don't think that you have to start off at $5. I mean, you could offer a $5 service, but there's people that are starting off there, a little bit higher.
I heard of Fiverr on Tosh.0 when they used to pay $5 for people to do silly stuff around the world, and then I looked at it because I would do it for like a joke for fantasy football. I'd get someone. They'll like
that's worth $5.
Yeah, it's fun. It's funny to me. It's worth the $5.
Why do I see Eric now going on to Fiverr and be like, I want people to just do silly stuff for me in Uganda or someplace like that.
You can't go too far because that YouTube guy PewDiePie, he tried to do it and he tried to do like a Hitler joke or something, and it basically took him out of Disney's favor and ruined him. Yeah. So don't go too far with your Hitler jokes.
I'll keep those in-house.
Yeah.
So Fiverr's a good one. If you need like little things done, I need to get the background out of this photo. Can you take that out? Can you vector that out? Or can you do a jingle for me or voiceover? Sometimes those like little things that can just prolong projects that you need. Sometimes you can get that done pretty quickly. Let's see. You got Uber and Lyft. You see a lot of that going on, the rideshare stuff.
Yeah, a lot of people doing that.
You can do Uber Eats, Grubhub, delivery, all that. What are the other sites? I've got TaskRabbit in some cities. For writers, onlinewritingjobs.com, Daily Post, Text Broker, journalismjobs.com, and pinchme.org. Those are all good writer.
Law says he doesn't really prepare for these podcasts, but he seems awfully prepared, don't you think?
He's full of shit.
I know, right?
This was for a blog post and research for an app for one of our clients. So I have it in my Evernote ready to go. And when we started talking about tax code, I was like, ooh, yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh, yeah.
Visual arts jobs. You can put your
segue.
creatives on Behance.net, which I like because that's where like the kind of the best graphic designers are.
Behance,
yeah.
All right, I'm not that.
Part of Adobe now.
I feel like you were just kind of prepping me for when you tell me to hit the bricks. Get out of here.
No, so
did you not listen to the podcast? I told you all the other shit you
I'll
can do
give
with
the
your
flip
life.
side.
Yeah, right. And get the fuck out of here.
I'll give the flip side of this in a second because it's not. People think that's easy. Like it's easy. Just go. Oh, we'll get freelancers. No, a lot of what we do here is switchboard operate a fuckload of freelancers, right?
Yeah.
So you need good operating contracts, independent contractor operating agreements. You need the legal because that's the other part. So say you get a logo made by a graphic designer, they just copy it from someone, don't get the license, don't tell you about it, and then you pass it on. Company uses it. Now you're in indemnification, just like the McDonald's thing with Jacob's iTunes art. I told him, I was like, you're signing a contract if I'm going to help you, because if I put ads out and it leads to an iTunes album cover that has the McDonald's logo on it, I can get in trouble too.
He's going to have a hard time making the song Dick and a Big Mac big time.
Well, it's parody. Yeah, it's parody. I was like,
it's parody. You can say whatever you want.
I was like, is the whole album about McDonald's?
Like, use fucking McDonald's food?
Okay, well...
Well, I mean, they did they did a movie that pretty much bashed McDonald's the entire time, so I'm pretty sure they can.
What, The Founder?
No, not The Founder.
That's a good movie. You should watch it.
I like that movie.
I like that.
No, not The Founder. They, big, fat, and whatever.
Supersize Me?
Supersize Me, yeah. So I mean, forced McDonald's to change the word supersize out of it. So
you can't tell freelancers as someone who's hiring one, you can't tell them, hey, I need you to be online this day, these hours, or I need you to do, I need you to be in the office 9 to 5. It doesn't work like that. You have to give them due dates for everything. So it is a pain in the ass to hire freelancers in the beginning if you haven't really done it and you're trying to do a lot of them to save money. We kind of call it money balling, the best teams, the best groups of people together, because now everything's so segmented out for the online world. Let's just talk about that. There's 40 different kind of programmers. There's 40 different styles of graphic design.
Yeah. It makes what we do more valuable, though.
Right. And so why not pluck the best specialists out when they have time?
And you need a specialist to know, because you can't just be like, okay, I'm going to start a company and I don't know anything about this. I'm just going to go ahead and, pull in a bunch of freelancers. I need a graphic guy. I need this. You still need to vet those guys and look at their work and say, yes, worth it, and yeah, not worth it. And so that takes a professional eye. So that's where we, as switchboard operators, would still need to operate from and show our expertise in that sense.
And the other one I'm going to throw out there, because I only have a few minutes before I got a hard out, is LinkedIn's legit. If you're looking,
I was going to say, if you bring up fucking LinkedIn again.
Look,
I don't understand, though, where
LinkedIn will eventually sponsor this show.
How
I'm telling you right now.
So for you, for instance, because you just got your profile on, we need to add a bunch of stuff on there. You've worked on a bunch of stuff in the last 9 months. Mm-hmm. So I need to write a recommendation for you. So you need to go out and request some from people.
Oh, he is so setting you up for moving on into freelance world.
No.
There's an online resume thing.
No way.
We can make you a resume.
It all helps because you're under our company account. It says you work here at Tokubaga Consulting. So the better your profile, the better our profile as a whole. But at the same time, all the connections are better too. So the more you use your profile, the better I can reach out to people too. It builds that social capital, as they call it. It's a douchey term, but ProFinder, you should be on LinkedIn ProFinder. There's no reason both y'all shouldn't be on there. It's free to sign up. I was at a meeting last night at a happy hour, just having beers. I was like, just do this while you're sitting here. It takes 3 minutes. You're just going to fill out an application. You don't even have to fill out that much. And I've gotten 4 really high-quality leads for proposals just from that.
Okay.
And I haven't done anything. It's just like Angie's list of business professionals, essentially. But it just uses your profile so people can look at it. And I've had like all over the board kind of thing. Like I've had some that were brand consulting, price consultant, which I don't really push out there that much, but I guess someone's put it in my skills endorsements. I think pricing's the hardest thing, but I was like, yeah, we can definitely help you with that.
That's a podcast for another time.
Yeah. So look, that's my advice. Those are the list of sites. We're gonna drag and dictate this out, and hopefully I don't have to do too much editing. But all the links of the places I just said should be in the transcript on our site when we post the blog post.
So real quick before you head out, so that way we can wrap this up. Holiday. Any holiday plans? Any special holiday plans?
Y'all go first while I get this music going.
Go ahead, Eric.
No.
Like
the end.
Like not even
it's
trying
like I got
to.
A family,
are you
kids.
cooking or anything?
No, man. My wife probably is. I have no idea. My in-laws are coming over. I think spending the night waiting for Santa, and then that's it.
Awesome. Do you have any kind of like holiday tradition that you normally do? Have you started any holiday traditions?
Any Krampus?
I mean, I think Christmas has enough traditions that I don't need to be making up my own.
Well, no. I'm not talking about.
It's a lot of pressure.
Well, no, sorry. Like for example, we're trying to start. Like my family had their holiday tradition, and then we're trying to start. Like me and my wife are trying to start a kind of a new holiday tradition. Right now, the only thing we've got so far is keeping each Christmas tree from each year to make an art piece out of it later on. But I'm just saying, like.
The only thing we thought of was
sounds like you're a hoarder.
Changing Christmas.
Yeah.
We keep
Honey,
all our
rather
dead
than
cats.
make me go to the dump, why don't we just save these every year until we have enough, until I decide.
Trust me, it's a lot more work to save them than it is to throw them away. I'd rather. I would have preferred to throw them away, but I see the madness behind the art and the history behind it, so I understand where she's
You're
going with
Cuban.
Like
do you do the noche? What is it? The noche
libre or noche buena? Noche
yeah,
buena.
Yeah. Do you
Sorry,
do that? You put a pig on a spit.
We don't, especially since we had a pet pig for a long time, so we don't put a pig on the spit. We do pernil, but we don't actually put the pig on the spit. No.
All right. There's a Tampa Bay Times writer that was looking for someone. He wanted to write an article. So if you want to do that, I'll hook that up. Right. What do you got going on?
Just ugly Christmas sweater party. Just gonna actually, you know what? Because of my recent life changes, wedding, and now home, possibly yours.
Yeah, buy my house.
Can't take that back. You said.
Yeah.
I said possibly.
Mm-hmm.
We're actually doing. We're trying to keep it easy for everybody. Not worried about gift exchange. Just have a good gathering and food and ugly sweater party, ugly onesie party.
Sounds like it has good intentions.
Yeah,
we'll see how that plays out.
Yeah.
We always shoot for that, but we don't do it. I don't think I've ever left for Christmas, ever. My family is one of the rare families that's been in Tampa for like 4 generations or something, and
mine too. And they're all here.
Yeah, so it kind of sucks when it's really hot too, It doesn't feel like Christmas a
It
lot
does
of the
not
time.
feel like Christmas
It's
at all.
80 degrees right now, but
Yeah, we're 3 days away.
we'll just hang out. I'm excited to see our little boy who's about. I mean, your kids are right in the best age. They're what,
Oh, yeah,
7
they're
and
into it.
5 or something.
So close. They're 5 and 2.
5 and 2.
17 and fucking no.
Carry the one.
Great improv, guys.
No, it's- yeah.
Yes, and
Yes, and
No.
I have other kids
No,
that are other different ages.
I don't know why I said 7 too. But they
It's a good age for them, yeah, for sure.
that's the
they're
best
into it.
age. They're right there in the sweet spot.
But I'm pretty sure my daughter is onto it. Like, she's not going to believe this Santa shit next year. She's already getting to the bottom of things.
Dude, show her Krampus. I was looking that up the other day.
That's actually a pretty good movie.
Yeah?
I bet it is.
Yeah.
It's
a
name was
comedy.
silly.
It's a comedy horror. It's actually a really good movie. So as far as holiday movies are concerned, and since I'm the movie guy here, Krampus, check it out.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's play it out. Thanks for hanging out.
Yeah, man. Hey, happy holidays if I don't see you guys between now and then.
All right.